And you just touched on such a good, unbelievable advantage that the Green Bay Packers have always had too. I think, you can look at free agency coming in and be all gloom and doom, right? Like who in the hell wants to live in Siberia? Who wants to live in Green Bay? And I think the Athletic just had a poll out like the worst places to visit, and the players are voting Green Bay. But there's such an inherent advantage to running a football team in Green Bay where you don't have an owner who's going to just step in and tell you what to do, who to pick, how to run your business, and it's all football. You mentioned that to me when we talked the summer where a certain quarterback was, maybe holding this team hostage for a few months, and you said, like, I don't know why you wouldn't want to be in Green Bay, why you wouldn't want to play for the Packers. It's all there's no distractions. It really isn't. If that's the primary objective, where else would you want to play? And kind of like thinking through that lens, I'd imagine as a GM would really help you rebuild this thing.
Oh, it did. It certainly did. I mean, obviously, once you have Favre, we were blessed. We had one of the most remarkable players that we inherited when I got there. Not probably in the history of the Packers. That was Sterling Sharp. He was amazing. I am sure that when teams got ready to play the Packers, they would say, all we have to do is take away Sharp and we'll beat them. You know what? They could never take him away. What a fierce competitor. What a tremendous receiver. There's a guy that belongs in Canton, Ohio, who unfortunately, due to injuries, may never get there. But for 3 years, he was as good as it gets at what he did and how he did it. He's just amazing. When I had an opportunity in, I think, '86 to interview for the job with the Packers. And at that time, the two best players were James Lofton and Ken Rutgers. So here I come in '91 now, and the two best players are Ken Rutgers and this time Sterling Sharp. But, no one else jumped in there. And that helped.
When you are able to run a team the way you want to run a team without that interference, that's just got to help so much too. I would imagine that's not the case everywhere.
Oh no, I tell you what, that was a big help. And hitting Favre really helped. I had to go to Harlan to get approval to do stuff. And then once we got Favre and we started winning, I would just go to him and say, "This is what we're going to do," and he went with it. And the culmination of obviously in '94 or '93, Reggie White came in, and that made a huge difference from the national media, but not from that players underground, because guys like Sean Jones came in, and Santana Dotson came in. We were able to trade for Eugene Robinson. Players of that ilk made the announcement that this is a good place to play.
How were you able to sign Reggie White? Like your version of events, how did that happen?
Well, I tell you how it happened. Mike Reinfeldt who was the chief cook and bottle washer. I don't know what his title was, but chief financial officer, did a hell of a job recruiting. And the bottom line is, you know what? We paid him more money than anybody else. That's how we got it.
They'll get it done.
Today that's chump change.
Yeah.
Then that was a lot of money.
Was it hard to ask for money or in those early days with the Packers? It's not exactly
not really, because
Bob was okay with it.
Yeah, the interesting thing with the Packers was everything was funneled back into the Packers, and we just had to up the revenues, so to speak. When I got there, they only charged $3 for parking. Well, we needed money, and so people around Lambeau Field charging $20. So why can't we charge $20? Little things like that to generate more capital to work. But the good thing was that the underground network and players kind of liked what we were doing there, and helps have a good team.
That's a really good point. So players are talking and words getting out on what's happening in Green Bay, and it's going to be a smoother conversation when you're negotiating. Is that kind of what you're getting at here?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We had we brought food in, we brought barbers in, we did everything we could to make it a
Huh.
compatible place to play for everybody. And again, all we asked them to do was what? Play football, be accountable. And if they weren't, they were gone.
Well, so you're pretty hands on with that day to day nitty gritty kind of stuff to make it player friendly. Barbers, what kind of little things are you doing to make it a place where players would want to go to?
Well, some people said, you need to do this. I mean, I would listen to friends of mine tell me what I needed to do to get, to sell. And this was part of it. An after game party. We always had an after game party, win or lose. And family would come and they, would eat, drink, whatever. So
That's
make
cool.
it player compatible. I mean, that's all we had. It's a great place to live. I mean, you can leave your kids can leave their bicycles out all night, and guess what? They're there the next morning. The only thing you have to contend with is the weather.